And let's all press play in 3, 2, 1. So today we're going to stretch it out. This is a new class that we're offering. Kelly, since this is your first week, this is a new class that we're offering in the 8-week program instead of just a 4-week program to make sure that we are actively helping our muscles to recover. We will need access to a wall today, okay, and then also the mat. But we're going to start in child's pose position. So find yourself on your mat, knees are wide, feet are together. Sink your bum back towards your heels and then just reach forward through those hands, bringing your forehead down to the mat. And go ahead and release any tension you have in the body, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Making sure that your exhales are slightly longer than your inhales. Breathing into the side and back part of the lungs. Releasing tension or muscle contraction each time you exhale. Drawing awareness to any space in the body in this position that feels tight or maybe a little sore, and trying to send your breath there so that we can at least breathe into the fascia, breathe into the muscles, and stretch it out a little bit. 3 more breaths like this. On your next inhale, walk your fingertips over to the left side of the mat, creating space and length on the right side body. And just breathe into that side body here. One more full breath. On your next inhale, walk your fingers over to the right side of the mat, creating space and length on the left side body. Head is still down on the mat, forehead on the mat. Drawing your awareness to where you may feel like you need to lengthen. Good. Exhale all your air out. And on your next inhale, bring your hands back through center. Exhale here. On your next inhale, start to lift yourself up as if you're coming into a quadruped position, and then sink your hips down towards the mat as you lift the chest. Pushing through the hands. Exhale as you start lifting that bum up, and then pushing back into a child's pose, rounding through that spine. Keep going like this. Find the pace that works for you. Wanting to create some length along that back body, starting to mobilize the upper body, and also potentially stretching into those hip flexors slightly. 2 more like this. Good, last one. And then inhale, come up into a quadruped position. Move, adjust your wrists, your hands to be underneath your shoulders, your knees to be underneath your hips, And then let's do the full cat-cow here. So getting a little additional arch in that spine as you inhale, lifting the tail and the chest up. And then exhale as you round through that back a little bit more deeply here, pressing away from the mat, looking down towards your side. Good. Feel free to move your hips around as you go through this move, maybe circling the wrist with the body, taking any movement that feels good to you, reversing direction, or just staying static in your cat-cow. That's fine as well. We're going to find stillness in our quadruped position in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's meet in that quadruped position. Go ahead and lift up your right hand. Inhale, exhale as you thread it underneath the left shoulder, the left arm, bringing your right ear down to the mat. Breathing into that shoulder girdle. On your next inhale, come on up out of that twist. Plant that right hand down. Exhale as you lift up the left hand and weave it underneath the right shoulder, bringing your left ear down to the mat. 3 nice big breaths here, stretching out any area that feels tight or sore from all the hard work that we put in this week. We're just loosening up the muscles if we were sitting in a static position for a long period of time with work. On your next inhale, come on up out of that twist, plant that hand down, and then walk your hands forward slightly, curl your toes under, exhale as you lift up those knees and push back into a downward facing dog. And just breathe here. So hips are towards the ceiling, your head is in between your arms. Feel free to pedal out the legs, getting a little additional stretch in the backs of those legs as we have this beautiful elongated spinal position here. Press into all 10 fingers, not just the palms of the hands. Think about winding your elbows towards your ears to keep everything in alignment. Let's go ahead, lift both heels up off the ground. Inhale. Exhale, draw those heels down towards the ground. And hold here. Couple more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. On your next inhale, hinge forward so we come into a plank position, and then drop those knees down, uncurl your toes, and then sit back on the mat, swinging your legs around. You thought we were going to do a plank series. Not today. We get off easy today. But we are going to do a little bit of rolling down and massaging the spine. So let's sit up nice and tall, the fleshy part of the bum out of the way so you really feel those sits bones on the ground. Feet are long in front of us, width of the mat or of the hips, whatever feels comfortable to you today. Arms are out in front of us. Inhaling and exhaling those shoulders down along the back body. So we don't want to round through the spine here. Keep those shoulders in their pockets. Inhale as you come back off of your sits bones, curling your tail under. Exhale as you slowly lower one vertebrae down at a time. Hands coming up overhead. Inhale here, and then exhale as you start to curl it all the way up, using that breath to help you lift, and then hinge forward, hands coming towards the feet. And then inhale, coming up to a nice tall spine. Exhale, roll it all the way down. Nice and controlled. You guys look great. Hands overhead, inhale. Exhale. Bring it all the way up and hinge it forward. Inhale, stack it up. Let's do one more. Exhale, lower it all the way down. Arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale. Hinge forward, hands coming towards the leg, and then just relax your hands down. Letting them fall either on your shins, maybe around the ankles, behind the arches of the feet, whatever is accessible to you. And just breathe here. Try to keep those shoulders down away from the ears. Getting another nice stretch in the backs of those legs. Maybe in the low back a little bit as well. On your next inhale, come and sit up nice and tall. Good. Bend your right leg. Left leg stays long. Lift that right foot up and over the left leg and hug that knee into your chest. If it's available to you and you'd like to take it, you can either stay here or that outside arm on your inhale can reach up and overhead, planting those fingers behind you, chest lifted, still hugging that knee into your chest. Getting just a little twist in the spine here. On your next inhale, let's lift that arm up and around so that we come out of that twist. Extend that right leg long, bend into the left knee, and lift it over that right leg. Hug that knee into your chest. Always trying to keep both sits bones down on the mat, so not lifting them up. Or like rocking to lift one up. And if you took the twist on the other side, let's go ahead, inhale up and around on this side, or just feel free to hang out there if that feels good to you. This shoulder away from the ear. On your next inhale, lifting back up and around, coming out of that twist. This time, uncross that leg, bend into the other knee, bring the bottoms of your feet together and your knees go out wide, butterfly position here. Lift up through the chest and the spine on your inhale. Exhale, hinge forward with a straight spine, and then feel free to relax it down. Again, trying not to crunch in the neck, but really allowing those hips to open up and really allowing us to get an inner thigh stretch here. If this is too intense for anyone, you can always put yoga blocks or books underneath the outside of the knees, underneath the knees or pillows. That will help. Take a few breaths here. Good. On your next inhale, come on up to a straight spine. Take your hands, place them on the outside of both knees, and then help those knees come up so they're up. I always like that little additional support. Cross your feet in front of you, swing yourself forward, and plant your hands down. Extend your legs long, uncross them. We're going to get a little deeper into those hip flexors. So make sure your heels are about hip distance apart or slightly wider, and your toes are in external rotation. So open up through the toes from the hip joint, okay? So if you were to lift your toes up and bring them out, you're actually rotating in the hip. Exhale all your air out here in this weird forward fold position we've got going on. Inhale as you bend into those knees, bringing your hands together, elbows go wide, lifting the chest. Yeah, it's like a weird little frog position. Exhale as you plant those hands back down and then send those hips to the sky, coming into that forward fold. Let's keep going here a couple more times. Inhale down. And then exhale, lift. Pay attention to how you are distributing your weight across the feet. Are you tending to roll into the insides of the feet? Are you placing most of the weight in the heel? Try to distribute the weight equally across the entirety of each foot. Last one here. Coming into that weird forward fold. And then go ahead and tick-tock your feet into parallel position, about hip distance apart, and just hang here. Grab opposite elbows with opposite hands. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Let your hands fall to the ground. Exhale all that air out. Inhale, come up just halfway, bring your hands to your shins and extend your spine long. Exhale, refold, hands coming down towards the ground. On your next inhale, start to curl it all the way up, stacking one vertebrae on top of the other. Head coming up last. Oh, yeah. And find your way over to a wall, okay? So we're going to need a little wall to stretch out the upper body. I've been complaining about those push-ups for several days now, so I found a stretch that's going to help us stretch out the front of that chest. If we are facing the wall, you're going to place your right hand on it, rotate the hand so your fingers are facing away from you, okay, kind of like outside of you, and then start to rotate your body in the opposite direction so that your arm comes behind you. You're going to feel a really nice, beautiful stretch across the front of the chest here. Make sure your feet and hips are aligned with one another. You may not be completely, facing away from the wall. That's okay. Not all of us are hyper flexible. I clearly am not. But you should be feeling a nice stretch on this side of the chest, and then perhaps also all the way down the arm into the wrist. So if you're at a computer for long periods of time and your hands start getting a little crampy or your wrists start coming into like Jurassic Park, claws, this is a really nice stretch to stretch out the wrist. Good. On your next inhale, start to rotate back towards the wall. Bring that hand up so that it's just above the head. Your other hand comes on the wall underneath it, and then walk underneath so your head comes underneath that arm that's overhead. Other arm comes long in front of you. So we're getting a little bit of a side bend here. You can feel free to push away from the wall, send your hips kind of away, but you should be feeling a nice big stretch along the right side of that body if your right hand is on top. Left side of the body if your left hand is on top. On your next inhale, go ahead and rotate towards the wall, bringing both hands in line with one another, about shoulder distance apart. Walk back from the wall and come into just an extended spinal position here. Breathing in and breathing out. Feet hip distance apart, fully flat on the ground, sort of pushing away from that wall here. On your next inhale, start to roll on up and walk towards the wall so that you're about a foot away. And then leave your left hand on or the opposite hand on. Rotate through the palm so your fingers are facing away from you. And then let's go ahead and rotate the body in the opposite direction. So that hand should be about shoulder height, maybe a little lower. Are you guys all feeling this stretch here? Thumbs up if you're getting it. Good. I love this stretch so much. And I forgot about it for a while. So I'm glad we get to share it. I don't know about you, but I feel sensations all the way into my hand. Shoulders relax away from the ears. Good. On your next inhale, start to rotate back towards the wall. Send that hand that's on there up above. Other hand comes onto the wall about shoulder height, and it travels along with you as you keep rotating until you're like side facing and your head is underneath that arm. Getting a nice side stretch here. Good. On your next inhale, go ahead and face the wall one more time. Bring both hands down to shoulder height. Step back from the wall as you come into kind of a reverse L position. Feet about hip distance apart, pressing against the wall with those arms. Kind of like a modified down dog, just in standing mode. If you know anyone that's pregnant, this is a safe way to do down dog if they're pretty far along. Good. And then on your next inhale, let's go ahead and start walking back towards that wall, rolling up in our modified roll up until we come up to standing. You're going to turn around now, face away from that wall, and step back so that you feel the back of your body relatively against it. If you can't get your feet totally against the wall, no problem. Feel free to step forward a little bit. We really want from the bum to the back of the head up there. Your arms are going to be rotated out so the palms face away from you. You're going to inhale as you drag them up the wall, noticing what's happening in that shoulder girdle. Exhale, rotate them down. Kind of like snow angels standing, but the goal here is to try to keep contact with the wall as much as we can, trying to gain range of motion here in that shoulder girdle. Inhaling in one direction and exhaling in the other. If this is too intense for anyone, feel free to take it one arm at a time. That may help. Trying to keep the torso kind of glued in place, that core glued in place, and just feeling the shoulder blades mobilize and stretch along the back body. Good. On your next inhale, bring those arms up overhead, pause there. Exhale as you bring those elbows out to a W. Inhale, extend them up top. Oh yeah, exhale, W them out. Good. Inhale left. Exhale lower. One more here. And then release those arms totally by your side. Step away from the wall and then do a little shoulder roll or two and notice how much looser you are in that shoulder girdle. Let's close it out with a final little neck thing we got going on here in standing position. So we'll do those neck rolls, inhaling our chin down towards our chest and over to one side. Exhaling back and around. Give me two more like this in this direction. And then when you're done with this rotation, go ahead and reverse. Drawing your awareness to any spot that feels tight or sticky. Noticing if you feel balanced in the body. Good. Finish this last rotation here. And then go ahead and leave your chin down towards your chest. And take one big inhale and exhale as your chin is down towards your chest. Inhale as you bring your right ear towards your right shoulder, stretching out the left side of that neck. And just hold it there and pause and breathe. Go ahead, at the end of that exhale, bring that chin back down towards the center of the chest. And on your next inhale, bring your left ear over towards the left shoulder. And take a few breaths here. Good. Bring that chin back towards the chest. And then inhale, lift that chin up. Take your hands, place them on the small of your back, fingers pointing down, elbows draw together, look up, final chest opener. Chin towards the sky. And then go ahead, gently come out of it. And we are all set. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. I hope you feel great. And I hope you have wonderful things planned and just beautiful things that you're going to do.